Hi, and welcome back to Understanding Depression, the podcast where we dive deep into the many faces of depression, break down myths, and build compassion for those living with mental health challenges. Today's episode is one that might surprise you. It's called Depression in a Happy Family: Stories Behind Closed Doors. We often assume that depression comes from external chaos, broken homes, obvious trauma, or visible hardship. But the truth? Depression doesn't always come wrapped in pain we can see. Sometimes it lives quietly inside families that look picture perfect on the outside. So in this episode, we'll explore what it means when someone struggles with depression while growing up, or currently living, in what society would call a happy family. We'll unpack real-life inspired stories, psychological insights, cultural expectations, and the silent weight of having no reason to feel the way you do. Stay with us, listen mindfully, and remember, empathy starts when we stop judging someone else's struggle by our own expectations. And if this podcast resonates with you, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this with someone who might need to hear it. Let's begin. Imagine a house with a well-manicured lawn, laughter at the dinner table, two parents who attend school recitals, and siblings who get along. The kind of family many people would envy. Now imagine a teenager in that same house crying themselves to sleep, feeling numb during family vacations, or wondering if they're just broken for not feeling grateful. This is the paradox of depression in a happy family. It's not that these families are pretending. Often they are loving. There's food on the table, safety in the neighborhood, and even genuine affection. But depression doesn't always need dysfunction to thrive. It can grow in silence, imperfection, in high expectations, and even in misunderstood genetics. Many who suffer from depression in such homes feel guilty. I shouldn't feel this way. My parents did everything right. Other people have it worse. This guilt becomes a second burden, a mental loop that says I'm ungrateful, I'm the problem, and so the struggle goes inward, quiet, hidden. Emily, 27, grew up in a family where birthdays were celebrated with handmade cakes. Her dad played the guitar during bedtime, and her mom was the loudest cheerleader at soccer matches. But at 14, Emily began feeling increasingly numb. She couldn't explain why things felt gray, or why her favorite hobbies stopped bringing her joy. She kept thinking, "What's wrong with me? Nothing bad ever happened to me." For years she hid it. She smiled for family pictures, got good grades, and was considered the easy child. But behind closed doors she felt invisible. Not because her parents didn't care, but because they didn't see. It wasn't until college, when she failed a semester due to overwhelming depressive symptoms, that Emily finally sought help. She was diagnosed with major depressive disorder. Her parents were shocked. "But you were always so happy," they said. It's a common refrain. Depression doesn't always come with visible warning signs. There's a dangerous myth that good families create immunity to depression. But let's be clear. No family structure, however nurturing, can guarantee mental health immunity. Why? Because depression is influenced by biological, psychological, and social factors. You could have a wonderful upbringing and still inherit a genetic predisposition to depression. You could be deeply loved and still experience low serotonin levels. You might grow up in a family that never talks about emotions, which leaves you emotionally isolated even among warmth. And sometimes it's the unspoken expectations, be happy, make us proud, don't rock the boat, that create invisible pressure. Families don't need to be bad to miss signs of depression. They just need to not know what to look for. In many happy families, emotions like sadness or anger are quietly discouraged. Parents might say things like, "You have so much to be thankful for. Don't be dramatic. Just think positive." While meant kindly, these phrases often shut down emotional honesty. Over time, children learn that expressing pain brings discomfort, or even disappointment, to those around them. So what do? They internalize it. They smile. They cope alone. Emotional suppression can lead to a dangerous cycle. Unexpressed pain, chronic stress, eventual burnout. The body and mind begin to show symptoms: fatigue, low motivation, anxiety, physical aches. But when the family narrative is "we're doing great," These signs are misread or ignored. Daniel was the youngest in a household of high achievers. His mom was a teacher, his dad a physician. His siblings got scholarships and awards. He too was smart but quiet, sensitive. At 16, he began sleeping more than usual, withdrawing from friends, and losing interest in things he loved. His parents assumed it was just teenage stuff. But inside, Daniel felt like a disappointment. Not because his family said so, but because he felt he couldn't live up to their happiness. He began self-harming. He didn't tell anyone. The house was too bright, too cheerful for darkness to enter. Eventually, a school counselor noticed and intervened. It took time, but with therapy and support, Daniel began to understand. It's okay to not be okay, even in a loving home. In many cultures, family reputation is sacred. Children are taught to keep struggles inside. Don't shame the family. We don't talk about things like that. So if you're struggling inside a well-respected, loving, culturally tight-knit family, the pressure to hide depression can be intense. You don't want to burden your parents. You don't want people to think they failed. You become the protector of the happy family image, even as you break inside. Mental health must be discussed not as a sign of weakness, but as a part of human health. Cultural values and emotional wellness can coexist. But it takes awareness, openness, and courageous conversations. So what can we do? If you're someone experiencing depression in a loving home, you are not ungrateful. Pain is valid even without obvious cause. You deserve help. You don't need to qualify by trauma. You are not alone. Many others feel the same way. If you're a parent or family member, ask, how are you really doing? And wait. Validate feelings without judgment. Learn to spot the quiet signs: withdrawal, apathy, irritability. Encourage professional support early, not just when things become critical. It's not about blame. It's about creating safe spaces where the truth doesn't have to hide. Healing starts with understanding. Families can grow together. Through therapy, through honest conversation, through learning to hold space for pain alongside joy. Emily and Daniel? They're both doing better. Emily's parents joined a family support group. Daniel's dad began attending therapy with him. It wasn't perfect, but it was honest. And that honesty became a bridge. Depression doesn't mean a family failed. It means someone needs help, and the family can be part of the healing journey. Behind every closed door, there's a story, and not every smile is free from pain. If you're listening today and you felt alone in your sadness, especially in a family that seems too good for you to feel this way, please know you're not broken. You're human. Depression doesn't discriminate, but neither does hope. Let's talk to our loved ones. Let's check in with the strong ones. Let's break the silence. And as always, thank you for listening to Understanding Depression. If this episode meant something to you, please subscribe, leave a comment, or share it with someone you care about. It might open a conversation that changes a life. Until next time, be kind to your mind and to each other. This podcast is for informational and educational purposes only, and is not a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you or someone you know is struggling with depression or mental health issues, please seek help from a qualified mental health professional. If you're in crisis or need immediate support, contact a mental health helpline in your country.